Most Amazon affiliates use some kind of automated software to help them build their websites. This is completely okay to do. However, it is very important to responsibly use this automated software. I'm going to be talking to you throughout the course of this class about how you actually accomplish this. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of automated software. I'm going to be talking about each of these individually in a little more detail. But before I get into doing that, I want to talk about the use of automated software in general and ultimately the things that you want to be looking out for, and also how you can incorporate this software into the Amazon 30-day challenge. Most automated software is designed to either help you accomplish some kind of technical task without having the technical knowledge to really be able to do that from scratch. And others is designed to simply help you save time. The main problem, though, that automated software runs into is finding that comfort zone between something that's easy to use for you as the affiliate that is operating that software and something that simply makes sense and is useful for your website visitors. This also can kind of spin off onto Google as well and other search engines. Ultimately, if you are putting the exact same thing out there that another affiliate is putting out there, your chances of being able to succeed with that greatly diminish. And so that is my goal with this separate training class, is to help you how to learn how to apply this automated software effectively to your Amazon site building. Now, as you progress through the Amazon 30-day challenge, you will be taught a variety of different concepts that I use to build my Amazon sites, and then I progress through these different concepts from start to finish to show you the entire thing. As you go through these individual lessons, when you run into something that you have automated software to cover for you, I would still recommend at least watching through the training lesson to see how I accomplish that manually. There are often various aspects that automated software will end up overlooking, especially for people that have never actually done those things manually, and so they don't really know what to look out for. They simply have to throw all of their trust into that automated software. So I also want you to be able to learn to do that kind of thing yourself, to be able to say, okay, it is okay to use this automated software, but I only want to be using it to do this for me. And I still want to do these other things myself to ensure quality control. This kind of quality control is something that will help you out in the long run. It might not be fun exactly to not be able to trust the automated software completely, to just let it build an entire website for you, for example. Sure, that would be great to be able to do that, but ultimately you're not giving your website visitors something that's going to be useful for them. And what I mean by the long run on this is search engines like Google, even if you can figure out a way to trick them today, there is no guarantee that that trick will last. So I highly encourage anyone building websites that's hoping to get traffic in from search engines, I recommend for them to focus on what those companies are looking for long term. Ultimately, they want quality results when people search for something on their search engine. And so they will battle forever to make sure that they get that there. Your job is to create that quality website and that quality content that's actually helping somebody with whatever it is they are searching for. That is how you get in Google's good graces and continue to stay there for many, many years, if not indefinitely. Now, as I mentioned before, there are a number of different kinds of software or even types of automated content or duplicated content, for example, that I'm going to be discussing here in this particular class. These are going to be things such as software that creates automated Amazon product reviews. This could be an individual page or post on a WordPress site. It could be something that creates the entire website for you, essentially. There's also keyword research software that will go out and fetch a big pile of keywords for you. Other software will take content, either content that you wrote, content you found on another website, or maybe something like PLR content, and it will spin it to make that content unique. And then I'm also going to talk about simply auto-generated and PLR content in general at the end of this class. Now, I mentioned a few minutes ago about giving Google and other search engines what they are looking for out of websites that they want to put in their search rankings. You want to do the same thing when it comes to Amazon as well. You want to be the kind of affiliate that Amazon is looking for. There are definitely two kinds of affiliates out there. There is the quality affiliate that is legitimately driving new traffic and new sales to that company. And there is what I like to call a leech affiliate that is essentially trying to take the marketing investments and the hard work of the vendor, this case being Amazon, and or of other affiliates, and try to leech some of that traffic to themselves and then get paid as a result. You definitely do not want to be the leech kind of affiliate, because ultimately you're not bringing value to the Amazon business. In fact, you're actually harming it in a way by doing those types of things. You're harming other affiliates, especially in that manner. But you can also be essentially robbing Amazon of sales that they normally would not have had to pay an affiliate for. So it definitely costs Amazon and their affiliates money in the long run. So I highly stress to you to focus on being the quality affiliate that they are looking for. Part of being this quality affiliate for them is to put something extra on the table when you're trying to refer sales to them. If you're building a website using automated software and you're generating product review pages that are essentially just a duplicate of content that can be found on the Amazon website for that product, you're not really benefiting Amazon in any way by those websites being in existence. In essence, you're kind of flooding the marketplace in a way by doing so. They have, in more recent years, begun to crack down on this type of thing as well. And this is why I have the Amazon affiliate agreement as my number one point to be discussing here. Amazon is fully within their right. If they feel like you're not being that kind of a quality affiliate for them, they can suspend and terminate your affiliate account. And they are doing this kind of stuff. So I highly, highly stress to you, if you are using automated software to essentially build your websites for you, you cannot just simply click buttons in the software and leave the website as it is. You need to be adding more pages to that website with your own useful, unique content. You also need to be going back in to the auto-generated review pages and customizing them as well. The next thing I want to talk about having to do with this is the titles of these product pages that are generated by this software. Ultimately, what you have on Amazon pull up an Amazon page here for you. What you have on Amazon, if you go to any given product, it doesn't matter what it is. This right here, the title of that product on Amazon, is also the exact same title that is provided through Amazon API. API is what is giving your software the information that it needs to create the pages that it's creating. So it's getting the title from the page. It's also getting things like the images and the other content from that Amazon page as well. Above anything else though, the title is something that I find to be one of the most important aspects to the whole problem of blindly using automated software. Ultimately, your goal in putting up these websites is to get traffic to it and then to convert that traffic into an Amazon sale. Well, when you have a page on your website that is titled after an Amazon product, and then all the content on that page is also the same content that is found on the Amazon page, except it's actually going to be a lot less content than what Amazon has to offer. It then becomes extremely difficult to be able to get a search ranking for that title being the title of your page. Google definitely recognizes that you have the same content that's already been up on Amazon for a while. On top of that, they also can see all of the other affiliates that are out there building pages for this same product. If anybody else uses any kind of automated page building software for Amazon to build a page about this product, this is going to be the title of that page for every single software title on every single one of those websites for every single affiliate out there. This should be setting off some red flags in your head right now. This sole reason right here is something that stops 99% of these websites from being able to attract search engine traffic to them. They are not essentially targeting keyword phrases in a unique enough manner to be able to get search rankings for those phrases. For this reason, I highly recommend that you edit these product posts. Another option is to also try to combine multiple product posts into what I like to call a brand post page. A brand post is something where you are featuring the brand name, but still associating it with one individual niche. A good example here, using the same example I've been showing you here on Amazon, this Sony camera. Sony definitely makes a lot of different kinds of products. However, within a very limited field, if I narrow down not just Sony products, but I narrow it down to what this type of product really is, this being a digital camera here. So if my topic then became Sony digital cameras, I could then have content on that brand post relating to not just one of these Sony digital cameras, but multiple of them, or potentially even all of them. As a result, I not only end up with a completely different title to my page than what a large majority of the other affiliates are going to have, I'm also drastically changing up the content that is found there. If nothing else, even if you were to just take the content coming off of Amazon and combining it for multiple products all onto a single page, you're still creating something different there that is not found on a vast majority of other affiliate websites. Still though, I always recommend to go in and add some of your own unique content in with this. I will be talking in much more detail in the A30 30-day challenge about creating these product posts and also brand posts on your website. So I would highly encourage you to still go through those lessons, even if you are planning on using some kind of automated software. That way, you will know how you might need to adjust your use of that software to get it to fall in line with the A30 30-day challenge. You could be combining your products into a brand post, as an example, adding in some unique content about each of the individual products that you're covering there, in addition to having some of the Amazon information. And then you could also have some unique content at the top of that brand post, talking about the brand itself and your specific type of product that you are covering on that website. This useful, unique content that you add in to this brand post is what helps to set you apart from the other affiliates, in addition to having these customized titles. By doing this, you're going to be targeting keywords in a different manner from what the other affiliates are targeting. And the custom content that you're putting into these areas is also going to allow you to target completely different keywords than what the affiliates are targeting. So you change up how you're targeting them and also the actual keywords that are being targeted with this simple little restructuring of how this software creates these posts. If need be, have the software auto-generate these posts for you. Then you could create your own posts and remove the content from the auto-generated posts to mix and match things to create your own custom unique pages. And again, try to keep a focus here on making this useful. Think about what people are actually going to be searching for on a search engine when you hope for them to be seeing this page. And ask yourself, are you helping them with that search? If you were to have 10 different people who were not friends or family of yours go and perform that search and visit your website from it, would they say that your website deserves to belong in the top 10 of Google for that search? If you can't answer yes to that question, you will not have long-term success as an Amazon affiliate, or even with Google for that matter, trying to attract traffic to the types of pages you might be putting together. So make sure you're helping them out with the keywords you're trying to target. Make sure you're providing unique, useful content, and change up what the automated software is trying to create for you. Keep in mind, other affiliates have access to the same exact thing, and this even spans the different Amazon software titles. They're all using Amazon API, something that's coming direct from Amazon, and so all the content throughout all of them is exactly the same. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is automated keyword research and also SEO to a certain extent here. Number one, when you're going through some kind of keyword research software where it's generating lists of keyword phrases for you, you have to keep in mind that people using that kind of software and also people using the Google Keyword Planner to manually hunt down keyword phrases, they're typically going to be focused on the highest traffic phrases. This is why I say that biggest isn't always the best. I would rather go for a medium traffic or a lower traffic phrase, maybe even something that has 500 to 1,000 monthly searches, as opposed to going for one that has, say, 5 or 10,000 monthly searches, simply because the competition on those lesser keywords is going to be a lot less too. It can take much more work to go after a crazy popular phrase than it can to go after dozens of smaller phrases, and the traffic amounts can still equal out to the same thing. Your goal ultimately should be to try to find keywords that not everybody else is going after. You want to be going for keywords that are still going to connect your visitors to the products that you're trying to sell, but you again want to be stepping away from as many other affiliates and as many other marketers as you possibly can. This allows you to do less work on your website in terms of adding content and in terms of having to market your own website. One of the things that I find that automated keyword software lacks in has to do with, again, the most popular phrases, essentially. If you are searching for a list of keywords relating to a certain topic in this kind of software, you might only be shown phrases that top a certain traffic level. This is a common setting on keyword software to kind of limit your searches to a minimum traffic amount per keyword phrase. Well, there are a lot of keywords out there that Google shows as having a lower average traffic count. Except in reality, there are certain months out of the year where the traffic is substantially higher than what Google shows the average as. This is something that I call a trending keyword phrase. There are a lot of different ways that trending keyword phrases can show up in the marketplace. And it's important to kind of understand what those are to really know how to hunt them down, or to really know what it is that you're looking at when you are looking at keyword data. The most common kind of trending keyword phrase is actually going to be a seasonal keyword phrase. Something like swimming pools. If I were to search for swimming pools in the Google Keyword Planner or within any kind of automated keyword software, it would tell me the average monthly search count of swimming pools. And whatever number it told me would be an average over a 12-month time span. However, when you look at those 12 months individually, there would be drastically different search counts depending on when during the year you were. During the summer months for a swimming pool, you would have many, many more than the average number. Whereas during the winter months, you may actually have less than the average number. There's all kinds of seasonal niches that are out there, and there's certainly nothing wrong with trying to target them. You just simply need to diversify the different seasonal niches that you target so you can have a number of different websites that are constantly generating stable income for you throughout the year. However, you have another kind of trending keyword phrase that essentially exists in one of two different types of situations. One is that a product begins to lose popularity. And so over the course of time, less and less people begin to search for that product on Google. As a result, your search counts begin to diminish each month. However, your average counts on Google can actually show you an inflated number to where the current traffic that you could get off of that phrase would actually be less than the average monthly count that Google shows you for that phrase. Now, you also have, kind of on the opposite side of that, brand new products that are coming out. This could be a brand new product in terms of just a new model of something. For example, let's say Dell comes out with a new model of a computer. Whatever the name of that computer is, Dell whatever, would be a keyword phrase that people would begin searching for whenever Dell announces news of that model or whenever that model becomes released to the public. But before that time, there would be essentially zero keyword traffic in existence for that search term. This happens when companies simply create new models, like I was saying before. You also get a much wider variety of keywords that are being created in that manner when a completely new type of product hits the marketplace. Think about it like this. 10 or 15 years ago, you did not have terms like HD TV or 3D TV. Those things simply didn't exist, or they were just in the early phases of development to where the ordinary person was not looking for information on them. But a point came in the marketplace when those products became mainstream, and all of a sudden there was going to be a lot more keyword phrases and a lot more traffic available for those phrases because people start to search for it. Now, since I've gone through and explained each of these different kinds, you can probably identify that the very last one that I was just talking about, the brand new products, whether it's a new model of a product or a completely new type of product, this spawns the creation of new keyword phrases. However, on Google, in the Google Keyword Planner, and especially in automated software, the number that you're getting back for that keyword phrase can be grossly inaccurate. Using a real-life example here, there's a brand new video game that released on the computers this past summer called Ark Survival Evolved. Before this game released, nobody searched for it. Absolutely zero. If you see right here, I'm hovering over April of 2015. There were 0 searches for this keyword phrase in every single month preceding that before. The average now that Google Keyword Planner tells me for this is 673,000 average monthly searches. Okay, that's quite a lot of searches. However, think about this keyword phrase being a much lower volume keyword phrase. Let's say it's a new type of product that's been released, and maybe not a crazy popular type of product. So we're not talking about something like a brand new type of TV or computer or a new smartphone that has come out. Maybe we're talking about a new type of electronic dog collar or something like that that has just been released. The monthly average for a new type of product like that within the first couple of months after it has just come out would likely end up showing as a pretty low number. 500, 1,000 searches, maybe even less than 500 monthly searches. However, when you start to investigate these keyword phrases individually and on a month-by-month basis, you can see a much different picture. And this is something that is most commonly overlooked in automated keyword research software. What I mean by that is, on the keyword planner here, when you search for any kind of a keyword phrase and you're looking at the keyword ideas tab where you're being given traffic for that phrase, there's this little graph icon over here to the left, and you can hover over it to see the search counts for any individual month. When you then hover over individual months, it tells you how many people have searched for it, and you can then see the drastic differences that begin to show up with a trending keyword. This type of a graph here that you see on my screen now is something that you will commonly find for new products and new keyword phrases associated with that new type of product. There is often a very large spike right after the product has just been released, and then that traffic begins to trickle downward. However, it will reach a point of stability, and oftentimes that stability point is generally a lot higher than the average monthly count. Even though the average here on this keyword phrase is 673,000, when I look at an individual month, in June of 2015, this was actually 2.7 million searches. It has trickled down since then, but even in September, the most recent month that this is providing me data for right now, it's showing me 1.2 million searches. That's twice the number of average monthly searches that it's showing me. And the reason why is because of all these zeros. It's taken all these zeros and averaging it in with these numbers over here. So until I have an entire year's worth of data, which for this particular search phrase would take me all the way up through June of 2016, until that date approaches, this would be something that I consider a trending keyword phrase. And you can latch onto these for new types of products that are out there to bring in traffic from them by putting up content on your website about them, simply for the fact that there will be many less people targeting those phrases because they just didn't exist a number of months ago. Only the people who are on the ball and have just put out new content within these couple of months are going to be ranking for these types of phrases. This can be a really good way to help give your website a jump start when you are building it. Because if you can target some of these brand new phrases that have just come out and establish yourself in the top 10 of Google, as long as you have quality content there to back up that search ranking, your website should remain there potentially indefinitely. Unfortunately, this type of thing, keyword phrases like that, is something you will commonly overlook in automated software once again. So I always recommend using the Google Keyword Planner. I go into even more detail about the Google Keyword Planner usage in the ASON 30-day challenge as well. Now, one of the final things that I want to talk about has to do with automated SEO. There are a number of either site building software titles or even maybe SEO advice software titles where it'll either create content for you based on a keyword that you provide, or it'll make recommendations for you on changes to make to your site. One of the most common problems that I find with that type of software is that it'll either by itself or by recommending for you to take action, end up overdoing it with whatever keyword you're trying to target. You simply do not want to have your targeted keyword phrase being repeated over and over and over again on your website. Ultimately, you need your content to be about your target keyword phrase. This is becoming much, much more important as time is going on. I've been stressing this kind of thing to my students for 5 years or more now, and it's really beginning to take effect even more so just in the last year, where Google is making a very high connection with the languages and the words in the languages, to the point where when you type in a single word or a keyword phrase, Google could give you a big cloud of words that relate to that particular keyword phrase. And ultimately, those are the words that Google is wanting to see in your content. And this is just going to become increasingly more so as time goes on. You avoid this by not repeating your targeted keyword phrase over and over again, and instead talking about that keyword phrase, but without repeating the words that you're targeting constantly. Use your relational, your semantic words instead. Now, one of the next things I want to talk about is content spinning. A lot of different software out there utilizes content spinning to basically take non-unique content and to turn it into unique content. Now, for the most part, this type of technology can be really useful to people that are using automated Amazon site building software, because it's taking that content off of Amazon and it's spinning it to make it into something unique. The only downside to this is that the technology is not as smart as people are. It doesn't completely grasp the human language, the English language. As a result, the spun content, while it might be unique in the eyes of a search engine, you oftentimes end up sacrificing quality when it comes to readability and the usefulness of that content for your website visitors. In this regard, content spinning can be negative for the long-term health of your websites and your site building practices in general. Either the content spinning software needs to get much, much better to where it can accurately recreate a human being able to soak in a thought and rehash that thought in a completely different word and sentence structure. Or Google will get to the point where it can completely pick out this type of stuff and can exclude them from the search results. What I recommend to do if you use content spinning software is, number one, to only make it apply to your non-unique content. If you're using my recommendations to customize your Amazon review posts that are created by software, as an example, you would not accidentally want to spin that content after adding your own unique content to it. You would basically want to take your auto-generated pages, have the software spin that content for you, and then begin to go back through and add in your own unique content and make additional changes to that spun content. This also brings me to my next point, which is to go back through and manually correct that spun content, especially for grammatical errors, readability, and essentially you just need to make sure that that new content makes sense, but you want it to be rehashed in a different manner. I actually like to build a lot of my Amazon websites using a method I refer to as manual spinning, which is where I do it myself in my head. I will look at a website, read about a particular subject, and then I'll go back over to my website and essentially try to summarize what I've learned in a couple of sentences. This allows me to still retain the information that I'm wanting to get across to my website visitors, and to provide them with completely unique content while avoiding some of the common pitfalls of content spinning and the usage of automated content or automated software. the final thing that I want to talk about in this class is simply my general usage tips and recommendations for automated, and this can even apply to PLR content in general. Whether you're creating a site using automated software that spits out a bunch of Amazon review posts for you, and or using a combination of PLR content where you might have a packet of articles relating to a certain subject that you get. You might even have things like videos or ebooks or something of that nature that goes along with that PLR content. Some people will take the automated product review page software to generate that portion of their website, and then they'll take the PLR articles for a certain type of product or a certain niche and use that to construct a complete website out of. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you're not doing this. You want to have a certain proportion of unique content to auto or duplicate content on your website. Now, it is true that the whole duplicate content penalty thing with Google does not specifically refer to taking the same content on two different websites. Google won't penalize you for having the same content as another website. But ultimately, if you have nothing but content that can be found on other websites, it then becomes really hard for Google to put your content at the top of their search rankings, because it can generally find all of these other websites out there that simply offer much more. They'll offer what you have, plus they'll offer X amount of additional. As a result, if you're completely relying on the automated software and the PLR content to do all of this work for you, to where all you're doing is just essentially arranging or putting together the site, then you will find that Google rankings will often fall short of your expectations or potentially completely flat. If they're not currently doing that, I would also be concerned about the point in the future when those search rankings may disappear. By maintaining your focus on quality, as I teach it in the A30 30-day challenge, you can overcome a lot of those issues that plague the average affiliate marketer. And honestly, they're issues that I find myself not even worrying about on a day-to-day basis, such as a Google algorithm change. I could care less if Google changes their algorithm tomorrow, because I'm still confident that the type of websites that I build is the type of website that Google is looking to put in their search rankings, and they will continue to do so as long as I stick to creating that quality content. As a result, make sure no matter what kind of software or content you might be using to put your sites together, make sure you're bringing something unique to the table to benefit you in both search engine rankings and also as an Amazon affiliate long term.